Hello. How about now? I hope everybody can hear me. I'm like a human EMP. I can kill technology simply by being close nearby. So, anyhow, welcome back again. We're getting into Halfway Witchy and we're starting to get into the meat of the story. Today is a little bit more special because I'm going to give something back to you. I appreciate everybody being here and all of the subscriptions to my channel. It's excellent to connect with everybody. It's a lot more fun than I anticipated. I'm getting a lot of great questions, enjoying it very much. So without further ado, so I'm giving somebody, I mentioned, I'm giving away a waffle charm, which is really cool. It's handmade. I got it off Etsy. Love it. I'll probably end up buying hundreds of them. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get started. I am really excited. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week, and for every week moving on, I'm actually going to, rather than just simply read to you, which would be great if it was bedtime, I'm going to read and talk a little bit as I go, which requires my old man glasses, but that's okay. So, and we're also getting into the scene that was for me. By the time I wrote this book, I'd probably written 500,000 words. And this was the first scene that I ever wrote that physically affected me to where I was sad for a while afterwards. And I think you'll understand why, if you know anything about me and certainly who I am as a person. So let's go ahead and forge forward, and I will stop at a couple different points and make some comments because so much is going on here. So my boots thumped pleasantly down the street, and I lingered a bit to watch 3 evening grosbeaks flitter about in a complicated dance of feathers and beaks. It appeared to me that there was a lover's quarrel, and the plainest of the 3 birds was going to win. "Atta girl," I thought to the female as she flicked her tail and flew off, telling the boys to come find her. Sometimes you have to make them come to you. That's my general policy about men, customers for potions or spells, and life in general. But it isn't because I'm aloof. I just happen to love where I am and see no reason to go over the mountains seeking that which is already underneath my tiny boots. Quick note, my mom's favorite bird was the evening grosbeak, and we had about 22 pairs of them that lived in back of our house, and they got so tame that they would come down and flitter around her, sort of like she was a Disney princess, a short Polish Disney princess. So Gus seemed actually happy to see me when I walked in the living room. He was alert and following me with the intensity that would have been awkward if he hadn't been a cat. That's true of most things cats do, though. Their behaviors verge on stalking no matter how happy they seem to be. It's in their nature. "I missed you too." I began to undress, sitting on the edge of my red couch. There isn't anything special about the couch other than the fact that it is gloriously red, low enough that my legs feel just right, and the perfect length for me to stretch out on. "I saw a man die today." "Meow?" Gus queried. His eyes glowed with interest. "He was in a car, and I guess he had a blood vessel burst in his brain. It was very fast." I slipped my boots off as I reported this to Gus, who leaped down from the mantel and put his paws on my leg. He butted his head against me twice, then gave my hand a gentle lick. He might not understand everything I said, but there were times that I swore he could have been a psychiatrist. Gus understands me. A tear slid down from the corner of my eye, unwelcome, and I decided that maybe Gran was right. I would mourn the stranger quietly, have some wine, and let the subtle suffocation of accrued grief pass from me as I slept. I didn't know the man's name, but I had seen his face. That was good enough for me. I've seen several people die in my life. The one gentleman had a brain aneurysm. I was 13 years old, and he died next to me when I was fishing on a pier. And it was very strange. I waited with his body for 25 minutes for the ambulance to come get him. And it was a very strange and sad moment in time. And I think that's what may have inspired this. I stretched out to my full length on the couch, contemplating a few candles I'd lit. After sips of wine that tasted of dark berries in a faraway place, I found myself watching the moon through the kitchen window. Actually, I was watching a patch of moonlight that shines onto the hardwood of the kitchen floor. It's my favorite part of the house, and I've spent countless hours absorbing the gentle orbit of that heavenly body, using the friendly white light to help me construct spells, both simple and Gordian. I felt myself slipping away into sleep, hearing the honking of car horns and watching the people around a dying man, wondering why it was important to me. This is in my Instagram. There is actually a patch of moonlight on my kitchen floor. When I moved here 12 years ago into this home, I was stunned that the moon was so bright that it cast a moon shadow that moved across as I went throughout the evening across the floor. And I've been obsessed with it ever since because I love the moon so much. And this may seem a little bit morose, but I actually calculated how many full moons I'm going to get to see in my lifetime. And I think I've got a good 250 more or so in me, which I think is pretty cool because that means I get 250 more opportunities to see something that has been such a joy in my life, and it's always up there. So I awoke to Gus placing a meaningful paw on my cheek. He doesn't slap at me, he leans into me with one of his giant mitts. It's a silent means to wake me, and I let my eyes come open to the candles burned low, and that particular silence of 2 hours before dawn. The moon had fled from the kitchen. It had business elsewhere, and I stroked Gus once in thanks, listening for all I was worth. The brass mail slot in the front door creaked slowly inward, and a light shh revealed that an envelope had come through to rest on the rug. A spell request. They always seemed to come at this time. It was never during the day, but always when my house was most silent. I don't advertise. Gran never did either, so I knew that whatever the envelope might hold, it wasn't anything harmful. My rules for spells are quite simple. The envelope must be handmade and plain. The request is written on a sheet of handmade paper, and the ink must be from the forest or natural world. It can be the juice of berries, natural dye, or even the stain from a walnut. Those are popular in the fall. All that matters is that whoever asks for my help does so in a way that speaks to their honesty. My price is neither low nor high. In fact, I rarely accept money. Payment for my services is more personal than writing a check or reaching into a wallet. I have no need of money that has no real meaning. Rather, I accept kind acts from strangers, a promise kept, or a small thing of value from the person who is seeking my craft. These things require some thought and a degree of existential justification. For that reason, I don't get many casual requests. And I think this might go to how we, hi Bree, welcome. This might go to how we do things for each other in whatever your love language is, like a kind act or time or things like that. To me, that personally has more value than money. I mean, I need money to eat, but I need kindness to thrive. So I stood, careful not to dislodge Gus with any great upset, then padded to the oval rug in the hall. The envelope gleamed in the dark. It was rough cut and handmade, just as I demand, and there was no writing on the exterior. I clicked on a lamp and settled in to read the note. The envelope was a heavy, cleverly folded shape in which the corners were tucked in to hold everything together without glue or tape. Inside, there were three things: a small, flat dog collar that was stiff with age. On it hung a metal tag that read Cowboy. There was a picture of a teenage boy on the cusp of manhood. He was stretched across a tattered couch in a basement that had the comfortable trappings of a middle-class home. Across the boy, a large, mixed-breed shepherd with a graying muzzle looked adoringly at him. The boy's hand was placed casually on the nape of Cowboy's neck, with a familiarity that could only come from long years together. Tears sprang to my eyes for the second time in one night, and I looked at the third thing: a letter written on linen-colored cardstock in blue ink that was clearly made from berries. The smeared words read, 15 of my son's 16 years were with him. Please help him with the pain. I couldn't help it, I cried. I mean, hard. Gus comforted me with headbutts and a deep rumbling purr, but it was some time before I could get it together again enough to look at the picture. I've gotten requests like this before. They're totally selfless. And usually all I'm being asked is to do short circuit time. Time heals, it's true, but the endurance needed during healing can be too much. And that's why people come to me. I carefully folded the envelope back together, keeping the collar out, and went to the kitchen. I had 2 hours before the sun rose, and I wasn't going to waste it. So we'll stop there. Now, I love that scene. I just love her humanity. And I mean, if we've all had pets, I've had pets my entire life. I've been an animal rescue my whole life. Cowboy was 35 years ago. I was going down a snowy road and there was a girl named Dawn Martin, I think was her name. I was in 10th grade and she was crying, standing in the snow. And she was looking around, and I lived in a very small town up in upstate New York, and she was yelling cowboy, cowboy, and that's where I got that name cowboy. I think that was just a long distant memory that I held. We always have a herd at all times. So but oh, and that was another thing. If you guys ever want to share pet pictures on my page, please do so, because I'm always, you know, I'm constantly posting everything from puppies to kittens to dogs to cats to possums, frogs, baby squirrels, you name it. It's probably going to be there. So, in any case, I'm very happy that you showed up and thank you for subscribing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm just going to put everybody in a little randomizer and then I will let you know and mail the charm to you. I think it fell. But anyway, it's really cool. Oh, here it is, in case anybody didn't see. So this is the Hello Waffle Charm. I really like it. It's nice. It's even got a little pat of butter on it. So that's pretty cool. And I'm going to keep giving stuff away, and I'm open to your suggestions. So you let me know what it is that you would like to have, things like that. I'm going to keep getting more swag and stuff like that. But this is as much a conversation as it is me talking at you. It's more you talking back at me as well. I have a new book coming out on the 1st in my science fiction series, The Messenger. I'm very pleased with it. And it wraps up at 10 books, and then we go into the next one. And I wrote about 500 words in the next Carly book. It's called Halfway Hatched, which I'm very excited about. So thank you very much for being here. I hope you guys are all healthy and happy and in this very unusual time. And let's see. Oh yeah, Jen, Jen and I know each other in real life, and the answer is yes. We can eat waffles, absolutely. So I would prefer. I wish we'd have gone to the Waffle House. I mean, I enjoyed the Brazilian steakhouse that we all went to a few years ago, but I would have preferred the Waffle House because of a stack of waffles. Although that steakhouse was pretty awesome. So thank you all very much for being here. I will randomize it. And I'm also going to order more of these. So if you don't win, don't worry. I'm just going to keep sending them out because I like giving gifts. And I will catch you guys next week. And thank you very much. All right, bye.